We got Terry Wachowski here. He's the president of Carasoft, and this guy knows trucks. He used to run the entire truck program at General Motors. And Terry, the reason I'm here today, as you well know, is you got the Cybertruck.
Well, John, thanks. I'm so glad you're out again. And,
yeah.
We waited a long time
to get one of these.
To get one.
So, I mean, let's go around this thing. What do you think? Well, starting out, what do you think stainless steel flat panels?
Well, the very first thing when I approached the vehicle was, oh my gosh, look how big this thing is. It was just, aesthetically, it looked huge. And I think it's because of the flatness of the panels, the boldness of that design. Because when you park it next to a normal pickup, it's actually much smaller than a regular pickup. But it doesn't give you that visual cue. The panels are amazing, quite frankly, and they're remarkable. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
And the technology that's gone into manufacturing these is quite impressive. As a product and as a truck, I highly question whether stainless steel is a good choice for material for a truck.
Now, one thing I do like about the stainless steel is these flat panels, you don't need stamping dies. And because it's stainless and unpainted, you get rid of the body shop. I mean, that takes so much CapEx out of the program.
It brings a lot, but the tooling required for stainless steel is expensive.
Yeah.
And the process is expensive. And this stuff eats tooling like lunch. It's really difficult to make panels like this. And that's why they are the shape they are, because it's so hard, the material. It's hard to make get a lot of depth into the draw. It's much more like a brake. So that's kind of why it is like this. But, it also has some downsides to it in that every time you touch it, you're leaving
fingerprint. Yeah.
And, scratches and that type of thing. And from a truck perspective, my trucks, they're dirty because I use them. We have a horse ranch and we use it as a tool, and, there's mud and everything. So
now I've seen some that are either painted or wrapped.
I think
they look fantastic too.
Put a wrap on it.
Yeah.
It really does. I think it addresses a lot of those downsides.
Yeah.
Right. It gives it, from the fingerprint protection and scratches and stuff, and aesthetically, you can do anything you want to with a wrap. So,
what do you think fit and finish wise? I mean, I did a cursory walk around the truck before we started talking. Overall, it looks pretty good. There's a few issues here and there, but what's your professional opinion?
In a couple areas, it's, they focused on the door, and you can see where the door fits pretty well in the hole, and closing efforts are good. Although, it's a frameless glass, so the glass, if you can't make that door, you got a problem, but that helps a lot. So in that area, it's good, but in other areas, it's quite a challenge, and you can tell. And some of these, when you look at some of the panels, they're sharp enough to shave with. And then you look at how does this line up? How are we doing here? These are difficult.
Yeah, this gap walks a little bit, doesn't it?
And that's got to be the biggest challenge in that whole plant is getting fits and finishes that meet typical standards. Is really difficult. So that's a tough job that they have.